Hi again, ladies. Now we're back with part 3. What this part is about? The part 3 is about drawing level 1. So, in part 1, we drew a context diagram for a specific case study. With the same case study, we continue to draw level 0 and in part 2. And in part 3, we're going to draw the level 1 diagram. Okay? Well, just a quick refresh of what was this about. Okay, it was about drawing a data flow diagram for food ordering system and develop it to the simplest form where every task will have only one thing to do, or one task to do, one function to do. Okay, so a food ordering system for a restaurant inside university were identified in the context diagram. Our external entities, which were the customer, kitchen chef, restaurant manager, and bank, and we identified the different data flows input to the system and output from the system that connects it with all of the different data flow diagrams. Then in part 2, we drew the level 0. We made sure in level 0 to keep all of the different data flow that existed and from context diagram that connect the system with the external entities. Okay, so end up to have 4 different processes, one to handle the order, one to monitor goods sold and inventory, one to generate report, and one to handle payment. Now in level 1, what should we do? We should make sure that every single process from level 0 will only do one specific task. So I will take one by one to develop it. Okay, I'm gonna do all of them for one purpose, is to just take even more practice. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the first one. Now, handle order process will be the process that I need to develop it into level 1. I will consider the same thing as we did in context diagram. So the same inputs to this process and the same output to the process should exist in level 1. Okay, and how do? I simply will take all of the external entities and processes that will deal with this process. So customer, kitchen chef, and monitor goods sold and inventory. So what was this about? If you remember, this was about taking order from the customer and then sending it to the kitchen chef. How do I know how to develop it? Simply just like I did, I just pronounced now. I said this will take order and this will send order. And that's what I will do. I will remove this process, which is the general one, and say, how do I take the order? I will create simply a process called 1.1, because at level 1 we say 1.1. That's how it will look like. Okay, and then it's gonna take order simply. And then what should I do with this order? I will send it to send order to the chef. And so what do I need to pass from the first to the second? I need the order details so the chef will know what to cook for. Okay, simply, that's it. Now, sorry. Now, second, I'm gonna go to the second process, okay, which is monitor goods sold and inventory. What this process is about? It's gonna take the order items, the different orders from all of the orders, and check out. It's gonna store the sales into a data store, and in the same data store, it's gonna store the inventory, like what kind of food is used. Like for example, if you ordered a fish burger, for example, that needs to have some let's say fish and maybe lettuce, maybe tomato. So they need to store that a lettuce has been used, a tomato has been used, a one piece of fish burger has been used, and so on. Okay, so that's what it will just monitor all of that. So what do I need to know? I need to know every order. What does it need? Just like I said right now, the if you just selected as a customer from the menu fish burger, then this process needs to know what kind of ingredients are there, to know what kind of items from the inventory I will use, and I also will store everything into this database. Okay, so I will take it. It will use only deals only with the handle order process one, and will deal with the inventory and sales. Okay, data store. So I will remove this one and start to see. So what should I do with the order items? I will take it to check these details of the order, to read the details of the orders. What should I do with this order details? I need to find the ingredients required. Where should I get the ingredients required? I need to get it from a data store that contains recipes and ingredient file. Let's say that hamburger requires one fish a piece or fish burger, one whatever lettuce, one tomato, and so on. Okay, what should I do with that? I will. What should I do with that? I will need to actually get the inventory used for this burger, get the sold items, and then simply what to do with that? To store it. Store inventory and sales into the storage. And that way I will be developing monitor goods and sold and inventory process from level 0. Now I'll go to the third process. I know it's a little bit long, but I just made sure that I will develop each and single process so you will get different ideas on how to think. So whatever problem you will have next, you will know how to develop it. So the third process was about generating reports, which will take all of the different sales and inventories used from the data store, prepare it into a report, and send it to the management. How can I know how to develop it? Just exactly like I said. It will prepare the report and then send it. So I will remove this one, okay? And what should I do with this information? I will prepare the report. What should I do with the report I prepared? Well, the output of this is eventually, it's a report. What should I do with that? I will be sending the report to the management through management reports and give it to the management. That's it, as simple as that. The fourth example is the payment. Now this one will be a little bit long. Why long? Because I have many tasks done. The first thing, and again, just focus, what do I need to do with the handle payment? It will take payment from the customer, the credit card payment. Take it to do what? To do what with it? Okay, will send the request to the bank and get his approval. Okay, and then after the approval, what will happen? It requires the sold details and the payment details to be able to prepare a receipt. After preparing a receipt, it will be there will be a need to send the receipt, and most of the systems will have to store the receipt also. Okay, so as you can see, I just mentioned different actions. Take the payment, check the request and the withdraw approval, bring the withdraw approval, prepare the receipt, store the receipt, and send the receipt. All of these are different actions that can be distributed on different tasks in level 1 for this one. So what do I expect to have as numbers? We will have 4.1, 4.2, and so on, as we mentioned with the first process. When going to level 1, we will have a point 1, point 2, point 3, and so on. Okay, and do not forget, as you can see here, we made sure, like in level 1, like we did in level 0, to have verbs as the names of processes: prepare reports, send reports. So we have verbs in the name of the process. We didn't change anything regarding the names that should be also on the data flows, which should be only nouns. Okay, so let's start. We took the same thing. We took all the external entities. We need to make sure that these arrows will stay the same, just like we did between context diagram and level 0. And all of these 5 arrows should be there, and remove this process to develop it. So what should I do with the payment that I have it from the customer? I will accept the payment. I will take the payment. What to do with this payment? Okay, what should I do then? I will validate the card details. The withdrawal request will be sent to the bank, and then an approval will be collected from the bank. We didn't consider, because from the given, we didn't consider a refusal of the card. We just took the positive one, that the bank will approve immediately the payment. Okay, so what kind of connection should be between the process accept payment and validate card details? What kind of information should pass from this to this? This needs to know the details of the credit card. And so, yes, accept the payment, send the credit card details, send a request to the bank for the withdrawal. The bank will approve it. Okay? Next, what need to happen? Well, once I have the approval, I need to generate a receipt. So I will have the payment details here, and then I will prepare the receipt. The receipt, to be able to be prepared, I require information from the inventory and sales, the order sold, like maybe ordered, as the example mentioned, maybe ordered 1 burger and then maybe 1 water. Let's say all of these will be placed in the receipt with the payment taken from this, and also in the storage will be the price of each one, and they accept the approval that already the payment done to prepare the receipt. What will be the output? The output will be for sure the receipt. The receipt, to do what with the output? To store it first, okay, with the 4.4 into a data store specially made for the receipt, okay, and also we need to send it to the customer. So what to do with this? Just to store it? No, also to send it to the customer with a send receipt. Okay, so it's a little bit long one, but we made sure that we kept all the different data flows with this external entity customer, with this external entity bank, and with the data store from level 0, and this data flow that connected this data source from level 0 with my process into level 1. Okay, so what did I do briefly? Accept payment, and then send this credit card details to validate it by withdraw request and approve. Then take this payment details along with the order details to prepare a receipt, store the receipt into a data store, and then send the receipt to the customer. Okay, well, that's all about the different processes and different levels. That's the end of the series for data flow diagrams. We created the level 0. We created a context diagram. We created level 0. For the same example, also we developed the level 1. I hope this is very helpful, and it will help you in your common assessment and maybe your exams later. Thank you.